When you release the hamstrings, your entire life reorganizes itself. Right now, try touching the floor with your hands without bending your knees, and notice exactly where the resistance appears. Do you feel that invisible wall blocking your movement? Your hamstrings are not just tight, they hold ancestral survival codes, memories of containment crystallized, fiber by fiber, over generations. Every bit of resistance you feel is a neurological password, programmed by fear, by shame, by the excess of control your nervous system learned to use as protection. The forward fold you just attempted is not simply a stretch. It is a portal to a secret alchemy where physical rigidity meets existential rigidity. What is about to be revealed dissolves the false belief that flexibility is a matter of genetics or discipline. Uttanasana is a rite of transmutation, a technique that converts density into flow, blockage into creation, hidden pain into pulsating vital energy. The forbidden fold that transforms not only your hamstrings, but the way you inhabit your own body. Get ready to discover the code that dissolves a lifetime of contractions and activates a new axis of somatic creation. The rigidity you felt is not a muscular failure. It is the nervous system's automatic response to protect deep emotional vulnerability. When the body senses a threat, physical, emotional, or energetic, the hamstrings contract reflexively, creating a posterior armor that blocks access to the most sensitive region of the self. This reaction becomes addictive. The system learns that rigidity means safety, holding on to contractions even when the danger has been gone for decades. Stephen Porges revealed that this response involves the dorsal vagus nerve, a primitive circuit that prioritizes survival over free movement. Ancestral traumas are inscribed in the fascia through generations. Grandparents who lived through wars, parents who faced instability, entire bloodlines that learned to contract in order to survive. Each muscle fiber carries these self-protection codes, built layer by layer over entire lifetimes. Ritualized Uttanasana dissolves these ancient neurological codes and releases vital energy that had been trapped in defensive patterns. Through cyclical breathing, conscious touch, and specific activation sequences, you can reprogram the circuits that have governed your flexibility for years. Modern fascial anatomy confirms that these structures function as integrated neural networks, not as isolated muscles. In the next few minutes, you are going to discover the unlock code for your hamstrings, and with it, the key to transforming defense into creation, containment into expansion, ancestral rigidity into pure alchemy. The hamstrings are part of the superficial backline, a continuous myofascial chain that connects the soles of the feet to the scalp, creating an integrated network of neurological communication. Thomas Myers revealed that this line functions as an anatomical track where emotional information travels instantly throughout the entire back of the body. These structures hold an extraordinary density of vagus nerve receptors, turning them into neurological repositories where emotional memories crystallize into specific physical patterns. When trauma or stress settles in, the hamstrings literally thicken their fibers to create protective armor, a process Ida Rolf described as somatic encapsulation. The rigidity here goes far beyond the physical. It is an existential lock that blocks your ability to surrender, to trust, and to allow the natural flow of life. Blockages in this region directly affect creativity, sexuality, the ability to receive abundance, and the capacity to move through the world with grace. Hermetic traditions have always recognized the body as a map of transmutation, identifying the posterior musculature as the guardian of mysteries, a place where ancestral memories wait to be decoded. Medieval alchemists called this region the bodily nigredo, the dense raw material that must be dissolved so that your true nature can emerge. When these muscles are released, it is not just about gaining flexibility. It is the breaking of limiting patterns that once governed movement, expression, and manifestation. The release of the hamstrings activates what Hermetists called solve, the process of dissolution that precedes every authentic transformation. Now you will experience how to access this alchemy through ritualized Uttanasana, a precise code that transforms density into creative flow. Let us begin by establishing the sacred foundation for this transmutation. Stand with your feet parallel, hip-width apart, distributing your weight evenly between both soles of the feet. Feel every point of contact with the ground, the heel, the outer edge, the big toe, the little toe, creating a conscious connection with the earth. Keep a slight bend in your knees, just enough to protect the joints and signal to your nervous system that this is a practice of care, not of force. Gently lengthen your spine, as if an invisible thread were pulling the top of your head toward the sky, creating space between each vertebra. Now begin the ritual breathing. Inhale slowly through your nose, counting to 6, allowing the air to travel deeply into your abdomen, expanding the ribs laterally. Exhale through your nose, counting to 8, releasing all the air completely as you feel a slight natural contraction in your core. This long breath directly activates the ventral vagus nerve, sending signals of safety to your entire nervous system and preparing your body for conscious release. Repeat this breathing cycle 5 times, observing how each exhale naturally softens layers of tension you did not even know were there. Bring your attention consciously to the back of your legs, mentally scanning every inch of your hamstrings from their origin at the glutes to their insertion behind the knees. Notice the microtensions, the denser spots, the areas that feel numb or disconnected. This conscious preparation is essential. You are awakening neural receptors that had been inactive, establishing direct communication with tissues that were operating on autopilot. Observe how subtle sensations begin to arise, maybe a gentle warmth, a shift in the quality of your breath, or the feeling that your muscles are listening to your attention. Your body is already beginning the process of neural reorganization, preparing to dissolve patterns that have been crystallized for years. This preparation phase is alchemy in motion, directed awareness transforming dense matter into substance that is receptive to change. Keep the established cyclical breath and place your hands at the base of the glutes, where the hamstrings originate. Apply firm but gentle pressure with your palms, as if you were waking up this region through conscious touch. Begin the forward fold very slowly, gradually releasing the microbend in your knees, while your hands slide down the back of your thighs, maintaining constant contact with the muscles. This is not a passive descent, it is an active dialogue between awareness and tissue, where every inch of movement is negotiated with somatic intelligence. Continue breathing through your nose in long cycles, using each exhale to release another layer of resistance, and each inhale to stay present and connected to what is unfolding. Listen actively to your body's responses. You may notice subtle trembling in the legs, localized warmth, tingling sensations, or even waves of heat spreading through the back of your body. These signs are not discomfort, they are indicators that neurological circuits are being reprogrammed in real time. The initial tremor that many people experience is stagnant energy being released, old patterns dissolving to make space for a new muscular configuration. Your conscious touch is sending specific proprioceptive signals that communicate safety to the nervous system, allowing defensive contractions to release naturally. Continue descending only as far as you can, while keeping the breath smooth and the sense of control intact. Force is never needed in this process. What is happening is the activation of myofascial portals, specific points where emotional memory meets physical structure, creating an opportunity for conscious transmutation. Each intentional touch dissolves layers of bodily armor built over the years, revealing the natural flexibility that has always existed beneath protection. Remain in this position for at least 1 minute, allowing the alchemy of awareness to transform density into fluidity, resistance into receptivity. Notice how your body responds when treated as a sacred temple, not as a machine to be forced. Now comes the moment of conscious surrender. Stop trying to control the descent and allow your body to fold naturally, following the inner wisdom of the tissues that are now releasing. Let go of any expectation to reach the floor and simply surrender to the process that is already in motion. Keep your hands in soft contact with your legs, offering emotional support as the body finds its new natural limit. Begin the integration breath, cycles even deeper and slower. Inhaling through the nose for a count of 8, holding for 2 seconds, and exhaling for a count of 10. This breath anchors the new neural information that is being created, imprinting into your nervous system that flexibility and safety can coexist. Pay close attention to the changes that begin to emerge. The sensation of flow where there was once rigidity, lightness replacing density, and an internal expansion that transcends the physical. Some people feel waves of heat, others experience spontaneous sighs or even emotional release, all signs that old patterns are dissolving. What is happening is a symbolic break from decades of bodily self-sabotage. You are proving to your nervous system that surrender does not mean dangerous vulnerability, but safe expansion. This practice activates a new axis of somatic creation, where movement becomes meditation. Flexibility transforms into existential fluidity, and the body reclaims its original function as a channel for manifestation. Remain in this position for at least 2 minutes, allowing each breath to deepen the integration. When you are ready to return, do so with the same level of awareness, rising vertebra by vertebra, staying in contact with the sensations that have emerged, and anchoring the transformation through slow, present movements. Once you are standing again, pause and observe. How does your body feel different? How has your posture naturally reorganized itself? This change is not temporary. You have just rewritten neurological codes that have been governing your relationship with flexibility, surrender, and creation for a very long time. Tessa was 48 years old when she realized her flexibility had completely disappeared. During a yoga class, while trying to do Uttanasana, she could barely reach past her knees with her hands, a posture she once performed effortlessly in her youth. Her hamstrings felt like steel cables, creating a physical barrier that prevented any forward bend. For years, she believed that this stiffness came from a sedentary job and the stress of raising 2 children on her own, interpreting the loss of flexibility as a natural consequence of an intense life. It was during a bodywork session that she discovered the hidden truth. The tension in her legs carried memories from a lineage of women who had learned to harden themselves in order to withstand difficulty. Her mother, widowed at a young age, had passed on through her own body the message that rigidity was a necessary protection against vulnerability. When Tessa began to practice Uttanasana as an alchemical rite, consciously touching the points of resistance, breathing through the contractions, allowing the tremors of release to rise naturally, something fundamental began to reorganize. In the first weeks, she felt her body becoming a home again, not a fortress. The rigidity that had been controlling not only her legs, but also her ability to receive support, to trust in relationships, and to allow flow in motherhood. began to dissolve layer by layer. Personal projects that had been shelved came back to life. Romantic relationships gained a level of intimacy she no longer thought was possible. Decisions began to arise with a lightness she had never known. 6 months later, when she was finally able to touch the ground in Uttanasana, Tessa understood that the true transformation was not in the flexibility she had regained, but in the rupture with ancestral patterns of self-defense. When the hamstrings were released, her entire life reorganized itself naturally, as if the body had remembered its original function as a channel for receptivity, not a shield for survival. It is essential for you to know your nervous system may initially resist the unlocking of the hamstrings, and that is completely natural. This resistance is not your failure, nor is it a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is an intelligent, protective mechanism that has held old memories for years or even decades. The body has learned that rigidity means safety. So when you begin dissolving those contractions, you may feel subtle anxiety, a sense of vulnerability, or even a mental voice whispering that this is not going to work. Some people experience more intense tremors, others feel the urge to stop in the middle of the practice, and some encounter unexpected emotional resistance. The key is to practice with deep patience, fully respecting the natural rhythm of your body without forcing any change. Do not try to speed up the process. Every contraction that dissolves in its own time is a permanent victory over old patterns. Keep applying conscious touch, maintaining the ritual breath, and offering loving presence to the tissues that are reorganizing. Your body wants to be free. You just need to show it, consistently, that it is safe to let go. Flexibility is not dangerous vulnerability. It is the return to your original nature of fluidity and creation. Ritualized Uttanasana reveals itself as pure alchemy for dissolving ancestral rigidity crystallized in the tissues. It is not just a stretch, but a conscious transmutation of density into creative flow. What you experienced goes beyond physical flexibility. It is the awakening of somatic intelligence that had been dormant beneath layers of inherited protection. As the philosopher Maurice Merleau-Ponty observed, the body is our general medium for having a world. And when you release contractions in the back muscles, you are simultaneously dissolving limiting patterns that had been governing your entire relationship with surrender, trust, and creation. The body is no longer an obstacle to overcome, but a temple waiting for conscious reactivation. Each fiber that releases from the hamstrings is an invitation for existential rigidity to dissolve as well, allowing natural fluidity to return to the way you move through the world. Alchemy happens when you understand that a forward fold is not an act of submission, but a radical gesture of courage, bowing before your own life as a recognition of the strength that lives in conscious vulnerability. When the hamstrings are truly released, life is no longer chronic containment. It becomes organic expansion. Projects begin to flow without excessive effort. Relationships gain a level of intimacy once thought impossible. Decisions arise from embodied wisdom instead of mental anxiety. The somatic rebirth through conscious forward folding reveals a forgotten truth. Your body has always known how to create, how to receive, how to move with grace. It was simply waiting for permission to remember. Uttanasana becomes a living portal into a new way of existing, flexible without being fragile, receptive without being passive, fluid without losing structure. The rigidity you carried was never your true nature. It was temporary armor that served its protective role and can now be consciously dissolved. When you master the art of bending without breaking, you discover that true alchemy lies in the ability to transform limitation into freedom through awareness embodied in movement. If this content resonated with you, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This helps us share this alchemical knowledge with more people who need to release ancestral rigidity. I want to know how you experience the forbidden fold in your own body. Write in the comments, "I release my hamstrings and activate my vital energy through pure alchemy." This affirmation connects you to the transmutation process you have just begun. Share this content with someone you know is living in bodily rigidity and needs to rediscover their natural flexibility. And keep exploring. Click on the screen and watch the next transformative video on the channel. Each practice you master deepens your capacity to live in conscious flow. Remember, your body has always known how to bend without breaking. Now you have the wisdom to guide it through this alchemy of returning to original fluidity